Today, Nigerians are celebrating the 19th anniversary of uninterrupted democratic rule in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari has reassured Nigerians in a speech that the anticipated change will definitely be realized. On Panorama today, we will be x-raying the journey so far, the challenges and gains of democracy. We shall beam our searchlight on the efforts of the present administration to deliver on its promises. But first, the news making the rounds. I am Jennifer Igwe. Welcome to Panorama. In just a matter of days, the not too young to run bill recently passed by the National Assembly will be signed into law. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the assurance in a nationwide broadcast to commemorate the 2018 Democracy Day. He, however, said the celebration of the nation's democratic experience continues. Everyone must resolve to avoid hatred and intolerance so that other genuine national aspirations can be achieved. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
In few days to come, I will be joined by many promising young Nigerians to sign into law the not too young to run bill.
That pronouncement by President Muhammadu Buhari will surely bring to an end the anxiety and apprehension of the young Nigerians in their desire to contribute more purposefully to the nation's democratic enterprise, beginning with the 2019 elections.
Let me use this opportunity to urge us all to conduct ourselves, our wards, and our constituencies with uttermost sense of fairness, justice, and peaceful coexistence, such that we will have not only hitch-free elections, but also a credible and violence-free process.
Without mincing words, President Buhari said the governing APC is on course in delivering the change promised Nigerians and saluted their resilience and determination to chart a pragmatic course towards addressing the fundamental challenges of the nation.
Like I have always said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will destroy the country. We are, more than ever before, determined to win this war, however hard the road is. I therefore appeal to all well-meaning Nigerians to continue to support us in this fight.
He said the various policy measures already put in place to stem the tide of corruption are yielding remarkable results, as the whistleblower policy alone has helped to recover over 500 billion naira. The federal government, he however said, is pained over the grievous loss of lives and property occasioned by the carnage of insurgency and other forms of criminality in the country.
I wish to assure Nigerians that we will not rest until all criminal elements and their sponsors are brought to justice.
He also promised that identified culprits in the unfortunate incidences of kidnappings as well as farmers-herders conflicts that led to high number of fatalities and loss of property will be made to face the full wrath of the law. President Buhari also enumerated the giant strides recorded in the economic diversification drive, education, power, job creation, and transportation.
The railway sector has also received tremendous attention, as this administration is committed to the goal of linking all state capitals in the Federation by rail network to ease the movement of goods and passengers.
He used the opportunity to appreciate the immeasurable contributions of the Nigerian women to the advancement of democracy and national development, even as he reaffirmed the commitment of his government to keep to his promise of leading Nigeria into a new era of justice and prosperity.
God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Against the background of the Democracy Day public lecture, a cross-section of political players and watchers say Nigeria is fast moving towards becoming a democratic model. Timothy Yusuf reports.
In 1960, Nigeria has had checkered political history, with its democracy interjected by military interregnum. The political elites and other Nigerians say In spite of that, the democratic journey has been rewarding.
It's not easy for a country like Nigeria, with all the diversity we have, to be together and to have uninterrupted democratic practice for 19 years. It's something that deserves celebration.
So far, so good. We're doing very well. Things are not perfect, but there has been great achievements, and we're very hopeful.
So I think it's remarkable that we've gotten an uninterrupted democratic process with 73 million potential voters next year. Nigeria is a democracy destination.
Under the Buhari administration, to them, the scorecard in the last 3 years is a clear indication that Nigerians have never had it so good.
This administration has achieved a lot. Look at the area of security. We've not achieved everything we want to achieve, but we've done so well. The integrity of the nation was really seriously affected, but today at least we have contained the problems in the Northeast to a reasonable degree. And then in the area of infrastructure, a lot of development going on.
We'll say we have done well. The president made a commitment to restore the economy to the path of growth, and we're very well on our way to a strong growth. So we are doing well.
This administration is confronting corruption. We can talk of the details about it. You can't doubt, that we're now naming, shaming, and damning corruption. That's extremely remarkable. Then secondly, it's also important because when we celebrate democracy, we always forget where we're coming from. We face a lot of repression, violation of human rights under the military. Now, for the past 3 years, I think there's been considerable respect for civil liberties, rights of citizens.
And for the theme of the Democracy Day public lecture, peace building and good governance for sustainable development, they say it couldn't have come at a better time, especially with the unprecedented achievements of the present administration, and fundamentally in its charting a new course for greater Nigeria on the platform of peace, unity, and national integration. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And to discuss more on 19 years of our nascent democracy and third anniversary of this administration, I have with me in the studio Larry Emenike. He is a political analyst and social commentator. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much.
Now, how will you assess our democracy from 1999?
I think I would say we are progressing. As a nation, this is the 19th year of our nationhood democratically. And I feel Nigeria is work in progress. I still believe, just like the president rightly asserted, he talked about having faith. There is nothing you will do in life without having this mindset that, you are progressing, having an optimistic mind. So I think basically, as he rightly said, we as a person, as a nation, we are evolving. And anything that evolves, there will be a stage that you will have some certain challenges. And I think that is where we are as a nation now. But I believe with the right approach, if you have the right approach, we have the right manpower, the focus is something that we really need to work on, and the right capacity. I still believe that the work in progress, as we say, that we are going to have it, well for this nation.
But we've certainly made progress in certain areas. So how can the gains we've achieved so far be sustained?
Sustenance is something else, but if you know economy well, you will know that, as you transit from some certain position to another, you must always have some certain challenges that are bad, because hard decisions, there is no nation that succeeds that will not apply, some certain decisions. It might not, be favorable with anybody, or for everybody. But then, as you progress in life, you will still see the dividend, because we're talking about democracy, that the dividend of some of those hard sacrifices. If you remember, there was a time the Minister of Power talked about, bitter pills and some certain things within the electricity sector or the power sector. But I think we are moving forward, and I believe that with time, the harvest period, we are getting towards that harvest period, and I hope that we must get there.
Now, the government has made remarkable achievements in the fight against corruption, insurgency, economy, and the three cardinal points for this government is security, corruption, and economy. How would you assess that so far?
I will not say that we are there already, but I still believe that with the right approach, I still feel that, in terms of corruption, as of today, every Nigerian know that there is no more sacred cows. We still believe that, one, there are some certain people or some certain institutions, like a typical example is the military. Formerly, I don't think any government have deemed it wise, or have the willpower to have some certain things to do with the military. And under this government, we see an approach whereby, there was a probe and some certain senior military officers, some of them are in quarters at this moment, and I still believe that it's work in progress. But I feel that there are these suggestions about people, they talk about having it, taking it holistically. I think I will advise the government, if they will look more, and some of the dissenting voices that Nigerians are talking about, whereby they believe that if you belong to some certain group, you understand me, that you are untouchable. I still feel that the government need to apply, because we are Nigerians and we believe that, what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. So if we talk about corruption here, the only exception with that is that I don't really feel that we have this all-inclusive approach to that particular canker worm, because the canker worm, and just like the president rightly asserted, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria. So, but when you have the right approach that will make everybody understand, that there is no sacred cow, or because I will find myself here, automatically I'm exonerated from some of those fights, I think it's not going to help. And again, we talk about institutions, because one, I can see an approach that is just, will I use the word peripheral? Because when you want to deal with corruption, you look at the institutions. The ministries, as at this moment, how far are they going? We have a TSA, yes, the government talked about, the president mentioned this issue of ghost workers and some certain structural changes that are...
In the public service.
Yes, in the public service. But you look at the institutions themselves. What are the laws? What are the policies, that the government has in place to checkmate some of those things? Because that is the major thing. When you tackle that, you will see us having it a good day within that corruption fight.
Yes, I like what you said when you started, that it's work in progress. So I'm sure definitely some of these areas will be touched. Now, the president has indicated interest to sign into law the not too young willingness to sign the not too young bill into law. So what does that portend for young Nigerians? Perfect.
I think it's something that almost everybody have been clamoring for. We believe that age, when you look at what happened in France, is an example. What happened in Italy, some of these developed economies have vibrant, young men as their leaders as of today. So if we apply it there, we are in a jet age. This is the age of computer. This is the age whereby there are things, you don't have. It's not about human capital, capacity. It's about what knowledge is, knowledge-driven. We have some of those people, this youth, that have been living those kind of, that are exposed to some of all those things that we see abroad, and with the reality of today, the way the world is going, France an example, Italy an example, and so many others. I think if we apply it here, that bill will do a lot of justice to some of the challenges we have, because as far as I'm concerned, I think, the old, have done their bit, our president today, when we talk about 1983 to 85, it was when he was in his 30s. And you can see what happened then and what is happening now. In as much as we are work in progress, but we need to do something about that. And signing that bill is going to do justice to that.
It definitely gives young people the opportunity to be in government. Because I know there was a time we had a lot of young people in charge of affairs in the nation. Thank you for coming to Panorama today. We've been talking to Larry Emenike, a political analyst and social commentator. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
This is still Panorama. We'll take a short break. Stay with us.
Is an evil practice abolished all over the world over 200 years ago. But today, human traffickers are selling human beings as slaves in Africa. It is your responsibility to make sure that you and the people you know do not fall into slavery. Don't believe fake promises of jobs abroad.
People went to say Libya, Italy no use you when they carry me on top water. 4 days now they lock me for inside house, no food, no water. I nearly die. Now God, when me heaven and earth, now save me. If you get 1 naira for Nigeria, you get junior one, you say you no get papa, you no get mama, now make you come out. I beg go they do farm work. You better pass person when enter road.
Don't accept to travel to Europe through the Sahara Desert. You may be walking into slavery. Don't be a slave.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by
Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari is urging Nigerians to keep the faith with his administration in his strive for greater security, dividends of democracy, and national prosperity. Speaking at the 2018 Nigerian Democracy Day lecture, the president maintains that the government is on course in addressing the nation's fundamental challenges through good governance. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
Under the theme, Peace Building and Good Governance for Sustainable Development, President Muhammadu Buhari said, in spite of the rough times experienced, his administration remains in touch with the aspirations of the people and continually work for the highest possible good.
We have achieved a good number of our set objectives, notably increased food production and food security, increased economic diversification into sectors that were hitherto neglected or underexplored. Our foreign reserves have reached new heights, and the outcome in respect of investment in infrastructure expansion are manifest everywhere. Overall, we are on track.
The security of Nigeria, he also said, has considerably improved, but the government will remain steadfast in confronting the agents of violence who have been engaging in banditry and reckless killings in parts of the country until total victory is achieved. President Buhari explained that the government will also not relent in the fight against corruption, saying effective and just utilization of resources are crucial for achieving sustainable growth and development of the country.
There can be no progress in any facet of our national life unless we tackle and curb corruption. We will not relent in our efforts to eliminate it regardless of the opposition.
Guest speaker, Professor Tairu Jega, who is the immediate past chairman of INEC, applauded the Buhari administration for the successes achieved in the task of eliminating corruption, but said the fight has to be intensified in all its ramifications.
Mr. President, many of us who are patriotic and who are passionate about the fight against corruption not only commend you, but wish to treat you, we as Oliver Twist. You know, the more you do, the more we want to be done, because that's the only way we can get this country out of this cancer of corruption. Some chairmen of committees in the National Assembly have become notorious on this issue of recklessly with impunity demanding for bribes. I have heard stories from many vice chancellors about the horrors that they go through on questions of budget and so-called oversight. All we are saying is that we must cast the searchlight so that Nigerians, and particularly public office holders, should have basic common decency and integrity in the ways in which they discharge their responsibilities.
Professor Jega also made a case for upscaling good democratic governance, taming of hate speeches, and strengthening electoral integrity, which was also re-echoed by Senate President Bukola Saraki in a goodwill message.
The 2019 elections cannot be anywhere less in credibility, in acceptability than 2015. We should strive to even do better.
I believe that nothing is impossible in a united, peaceful, and democratic Nigeria.
The secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who organized the event, said Nigerians have every reason to celebrate Democracy Day.
The choice of the theme underscores the important role democracy and all its attributes play in bringing about sustainable development.
Nigeria's National Democracy Day is set aside to mark 3 years of the Buhari administration, as well as the nearly 2 decades of uninterrupted democracy in the country. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The federal government will soon set up a Creative and Technology Advisory Council, expected to shape policies to drive the development of the creative industry. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that the Vice President, Yemi Oshibajo, gave the hint when he visited an innovation hub in Abuja.
There is another call on one of the innovation hubs where young Nigerians are using technology to solve problems and creating value across Nigeria. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo has paid similar visits to several hubs in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, inspiring the youth for, as he says, Nigeria requires an innovation culture to optimize its industries, create efficient value chains and employment.
Just to say that I'm really proud of what I see here and greatly encouraged. And I also want to say that you can be sure that we have your back. We're going to be looking at how to help you.
Startup Nigeria, an intervention of the National Social Investment Program of Government, in partnership with others such as this Ventures Platform Hub, will provide training, mentorship, and equity-free funding to selected startups.
Announcement in 2016, we've made a couple of, we made tremendous progress and provided a lot of support to startups across the country. You yourself embarked on a tour of tech in Lagos, and you visited a couple of the startups a few weeks ago. And the impact this has had in the countryside is immeasurable.
The Vice President hinted that the council, which would be set up in the next couple of weeks, would have some of the innovators as part of the council. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Update with Tamara Ebiwe.
As Nigeria marks 3 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, former president of Nigeria Football Federation, Sani Lulu Abdullahi, has praised the government for creating an enabling environment